it's never an easy qualifying if it's like that with the weather. But I think, we did everything well. Of course, the Q1 was quite tricky with that last lap. There was a lot of traffic around, but that lap needed to be it. And tires were of course a little bit cold, but we managed to make it work at the end. And from there on, it was all about just following the track as well. And then of course in Q3 you go to the limit. And of course very happy to be on pole, but also I was quite surprised to see the two McLarens up there next to me.
Very happy. I mean, pleasure to do it here in front of the crowd, especially like the whole lap. I was just watching the crowd cheering and applauding. So it was a nice lap. I pulled it out, I think, a little bit because my Q3 run one lap was pretty shocking. So to pull it out and kind of put everything together on the last lap, and to be pole for a few moments until Max came along was pretty nice. So yeah. Oh, no.
It gives a good home clap, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it was very special. I mean, to do it here, especially for us as a team. I guess not just being selfish and saying me, but for Oscar to be P3 as well. For us as a team, it's pretty amazing. So very happy.
I think we were optimistic we could be more towards the front from yesterday. It was a bit of a messy day, but the overall pace seemed to be solid. I think going into today with the conditions we had before qualifying, generally our car's done quite well when it's like that. Barcelona, we saw a similar thing. So I think there's an element of that, but having the upgrades on both cars this week for the most part has definitely been a help. I think we both put in solid laps too. So I'm very, very happy for myself to be back in the top three. But it's a great day for the team as well.
I really think that it was in the car to go for the first row. But it's life. I didn't do a good enough job. I pushed a bit too much in turn 15, and that costed me quite a bit. But it's like this.
Not bad. I think it was overall a decent quali. Just the competition was a bit stronger today to be in the front row or in the top three. But we had a decent quali, again in very mixed, changing conditions, very tricky out there. We had a solid quali.
We're not in a bad place. We know we have a fast race car. Our long run pace looked really strong yesterday. We thought we were probably third and fourth quickest, Lewis and I, on the long run, and 17th and 18th quickest in the quali spec. So, we've made some good gains overnight, and it's good to be that close to the second row.
I don't really know what to say, really. I mean, it was a difficult session for everyone, and naturally we wish we were higher. But I'm really, really happy for McLaren. To see McLaren up there, that's the highlight of the day for me.
We did a great job. I felt like during the week, most probably people were struggling with the conditions, with the wind, but we weren't from the very beginning. So we were maybe one step ahead, and everyone started to figure it out as the weekend went. And they caught up by qualifying. So P8 is still a great place. We can score points from there.
I think we were not quick enough. Obviously, still investigating why there are a couple of circuits, Barcelona, Austria, and now Silverstone, that we were underperforming. All three of them has a lot of high-speed content, so maybe there is something that we need to understand also in the high-speed corners. But this is a long race into the championship. 22 races. It's going to be up and downs for everybody. I think track characteristics didn't help our performance. Upgrades from our main competitors also put them a little bit in front of us. But the race is tomorrow.
It was very tricky. So on one side, I'm pleased we managed to get our way through Q3. And then on the other side, obviously, Q3 at the moment, qualified 9th last weekend, qualified 10th this weekend with another McLaren in front of us. So it's just, shows the evolution through the season, and we need to find more performance. So obviously we're working our way, race by race. We know we got stuff coming. I just feel like on a track like Silverstone, it probably highlighted a bit the weaknesses of our car a bit more than usual, and we know what we got to work on.
It was fine. It was fun. Tricky obviously with the damp and wet patches. It's quite sketchy and it can go wrong, but didn't go wrong. Still, I think good quali. Feel like I've pressed everything out of it, and it was close with I think with Alpine there, but not having DRS actually hurt us quite a bit. I think we're a bit more draggy and have more downforce than other cars, so missing DRS was not ideal for us.
a little bit disappointed not to have made it into Q3, or was that kind of the max in the wind that you
No,
had
I think it was kind of what we were expecting because we used the tires in Q1. Because of the red flag, we used 3 sets in Q1, and then we only had 1 set in Q2, whereas a lot of the other guys had 2 sets. So that's why we were competitive in Q1, but then in Q2 we were struggling.
A missed opportunity, I think, for us today. Unfortunately, it was not the ideal start of the lap. It was my mistake on that one, but it's not what prevented us from going into Q3 today. What prevented us was that Charles was on a 2 push lap strategy. And unfortunately, we thought he was going to let us by turn 3. And unfortunately, I was stuck behind him for half of the lap and lost half a second. So we are easily going to go through, which is difficult to swallow. But tomorrow is what matters, and hopefully we can push and recover.
For me, the first goal this weekend was to get to Q2. At least I did that. It was a tricky session. I mean, we can't catch a break from mixed conditions at the moment. I think a full dry session, things would have been a little bit different. But in the end of the day, the car was in a good place. It was challenging. I did my best. I think the difference there at the end of Q2, I had a used set there at the end, which had already done a full lap in Q1, and I just think I lacked a bit of grip there.
So I started to lose power on the in lap, and then the engine stopped. So we haven't got the car yet back. So need to have a look. Some technical issue.
How disappointing is that, given obviously the pace of the car looked all right out there?
It's very disappointing because, for once seemed like we were there and with a real chance getting to top 10 potentially, but what can you do?
Terrible session. Towards the end, I think the red flag lasted longer than we thought, and we stayed there waiting quite a long time, and I just couldn't put enough temperature into the tire.
How frustrating is it to start outside of the top 10 once again?
It's very frustrating, because we had a good Friday, the pace in the car was there, and we paid the price. I think in these tricky conditions is where I struggle the most with the car, so it's something that for us to understand as well.
Obviously I was aiming for Q2, which is probably possible, but at the same time I was really tight, and ended up like this so close, so it was quite frustration, but it is what it is. And
we didn't look too quick at all this weekend, but still I think potential was there. But obviously today I had no running. The only dry lap I did was the last lap of Q1, so I couldn't maximize everything. There's obviously margin everywhere, but the problem is when you have one lap the whole day, it's difficult to extract everything. So that was obviously frustrating in that sense.
Very tricky conditions. Obviously everyone wanted to get a banker lap in on the slicks early on because rain was coming, and I felt like we did decent at that time. Unfortunately, we couldn't quite keep that position because there was time left for another lap, and it became a kind of one lap shootout, and we just didn't quite perform when it mattered in those final conditions.
So you stop out on track, what happened?
I still haven't heard, came straight from the car to here, but everything switched off. I had no power steering, nothing, so I don't know what it is.